future county executive has to do with making sure that government is representative of the community. And oftentimes, you know, we understand that people can say, you know, oh, I've appointed this amount of folks, and many a times the individuals that are appointed don't represent the interest of those communities, and other times we find that those individuals are often muzzled, if you will, where they really don't voice the concerns that, you know, of what's going on in the community. We wanted to know what sort of commitment we can get to make sure, you know, for some reason there's been this magic number of one deputy county executive of color, and we definitely want to see if we can have more than just one. Most importantly, have individuals that can voice concerns of the community and bring them to you so that you can understand what's going on in the community and the way we, you know, the issues that we're facing.
Well, again, I'm very proud of my record of trying to make the county government look like the people of Nassau County. Could it be more effective as far as being people that are representative of the community and have relationships with the community? Yes, but you know, there were 3 deputy county executives in my administration that were people of color. There was Hez Brown as the deputy county executive for Parks and Public Works. There was Peter Silver, and then there was Patrick Dugan. And there was also the commissioner of human resources, or the executive director of human resources was a woman of color, as well as my first police commissioner was a African American. And there were Latinos as well, who was commissioner of health, commissioner of mental health, the director of parks. The former deputy commissioner of parks was African American as well, who was recently in here to meet with you. And there are others that escape me right now. But yes, I'm fully committed to making sure my administration looks like the people of Nassau County.
And you know, part of that may be, you know, what we'd like to do is develop a relationship with whoever the next county executive by way of those meetings where the individuals here can sort of advise, as you know, as to the individuals that are being suggested, and you know, pretty much getting some feedback from folks.
Well, it's all about building relationships, you know, and if you have relationships with people, then you're in a great position to make recommendations as to who people you think would be talented people, capable of holding those positions and doing a good job. You know, I said to Fred many times that I asked Fred to join my administration. He says, I don't want a job from you. I thought he was a talented...
Did I say it loud enough?
But you know, he was someone that I thought was a talented person that was representative of the community that I asked to come work for my administration. But it wasn't my lack of trying to find people to join the administration. It's just, you know, you have to find people that are talented and are willing.
And once they get into those positions, making sure that we respect them. One of the, I mean, you know, there was some things that I think, you know, we definitely want you to be aware of. We want to make sure that the individuals that work for you, that are around you, get the respect that they deserve, because that's the way we build community and relationships.
If
So
Fred Brewington worked for me, do you think I could muzzle him?
I mean, I'm just
making the point. I mean, I'm willing and able and ready to do that. Okay? You have to have people that are capable and willing to do the jobs. And again, it's about relationships. If we have relationships, then you would be free to talk to me at any time, that I could trust you and work with you to find out what the issues were, and you wouldn't have to go through deputy county executives. You could just talk about it.
When we come back to you, one here and then we'll come to you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
How's your son and his wrist?
Well, thank you. The splint is off, cast is off. It was pretty gruesome one thing.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. In this time of high unemployment and high foreclosure rates in the corridor, what are the most important things that should be done to improve the economy within the corridor? What would you do in regards to that?
Well, I'm actually have been exploring for quite some time the idea of condemning mortgages, using government authority to condemn underwater mortgages. Because right now there's a lot of mortgages where the mortgage is worth a lot more than the house itself. So that's an underwater mortgage. And people are still current on them, or they're 30 or 60 days behind. And the trustees that hold these mortgages have these, like, in a special vehicle that they're not allowed to renegotiate those mortgages to make them more reflective of the home value. So I'm exploring an idea that they're looking at in California right now, where a county agency could actually go in and condemn the mortgage, not the house, condemn the mortgage. When you condemn something, you have to pay fair market value. Well, the fair market value of a mortgage is really only 80 or 85%, worst case 90%, but it really shouldn't be, of the home value. So that would actually take down the value of the mortgage dramatically and give the homeowner tremendous relief, put more money into the economy, free up houses that people can't sell, because people want to sell their houses, can't sell their house, because who's going to sell their house for $300,000 when their mortgage is $400,000? So it would be a tremendous boom for the economy, it would free up a lot of income, it would be very controversial, because people don't like the idea of government using their condemnation power, but it's something that I think is very serious and should be explored, and I'm actually considering doing it, but I'm not in a position to say whether it's legal yet or that it's doable, but I'm watching what they're doing in California very carefully, but it's something I'm very interested in doing.
Based on your time scale, we got 2 more questions, and then we'll get you on your road, give you the last couple minutes to speak.
Thank you.
On all the questions that were asked to you, you said red light money, red light money. How much is this red light money, and can it take care of all the things that we asked you to take care of? That's what I think.
You know, it's a number that was at one time as high as probably $25 or $30 million. It's probably down lower because now people know where the red light cameras are, and the revenues are going down. But you know, we should be getting authorization for more red light cameras in the county. As a matter of fact, I think there may actually be authorization for it, but they haven't put them up yet. And you should be looking at moving the existing red light cameras to other locations. There's no reason that shouldn't be done. Just take the existing cameras and move them to other places, so that, you know, you get more people who start to realize that they shouldn't be worried about going through red lights.
Right, but with all the ills and all of the programs that need to be funded and all of the things that were asked to you this evening,
Well,
once again, out there, is this red light money?
The discretionary,
They know where their cameras are now, so is this red light money gonna be enough?
the discretionary programs in the county are not much more than $25 million, $30 million. This is one of the reasons it was so
Wow.
sad that they were being,
How much
they were,
we lose
that
a
so
year?
much of the county is mandated, that you can't, you know, it's one of the few things that you can cut. But it's not gonna ever be enough money. The only solution to the county's problems for the long term is growth. The only way, if we don't grow, we're never gonna make it. We have 30% less 24 to 30-year-olds today than we did in 1990. Our tax base is very similar to what it was in 1990. If we don't grow, we're not gonna expand our property tax base and bring in new property tax revenues. If we don't grow, we're not gonna bring in new sales tax revenues. Suffolk County has brought in $1.6 billion more in sales tax over the past 10 years than Nassau County. Why? Because it's 3 times bigger in land mass. So they have continued to grow, even with the bad economy, but certainly before the bad economy, they've continued to grow because they're continuing to suburban sprawl into the existing model of single-family homes and strip malls. We can't do that anymore. Single-family homes, strip malls, big box stores, that does nothing for us. We have to figure out how to go up with apartments and with office buildings, with restaurants and shops on the first floor, but by the train station, not spread out all over the place. In the downtown area to create places. So that people say, what are you doing tonight? Say, I'm going to Freeport. Where in Freeport you going? I don't know, I'm just gonna walk around the downtown, because there's always something going on down there. Because there's restaurants, there's bars, there's music, there's theater, there's something to do. Where are you going tonight? I'm going over to the Coliseum. I mean, you're going to the Coliseum, you're watching a game, you're going to the concert? No, I'm just going to that area, because there's something going on there. We have to create 10 or 15 places like that throughout Nassau County that are new, cool downtowns where people want to hang out, where young people want to live, where jobs can be created, so expand the tax base, create sales tax revenue, attract young people, and make this place a better place than it is now. Without that, all the answer is going to be is to keep on cutting stuff. And if we keep on cutting stuff, we're going to end up like the city did in the 70s. When people moved out of the city, they moved out to Long Island for a better quality of life, and they said, oh boy, we have all these problems and we have less people paying the taxes. So they said, we got to start cutting. So what do? They cut the cops, they cut the parks, they cut the mental health, they cut the drug and alcohol, they cut everything, the services, they cut the transportation, and that's when Johnny Carson told jokes about the muggings in Central Park, and the graffiti all over the subways, and Central Park was a mess, and everything was a dump, and the states took over the finances of New York City. And that's what's going to happen here if we don't figure out how to grow for the long term. Because the answer's not, there's no more money for programs. You'll never get enough. You could restore the youth programs, you could restore this program, not enough to solve the ills that exist. Things have to change. And the things that have to change is there has to be growth, there has to be interoperability where you take existing resources and get people to work across government lines and work together to address problems. And I believe that I have the vision and the leadership and ability and the newfound sense of the need to build relationships with people, which I didn't have as much before. Spend my whole day, every day at my desk, eating lunch at my desk, telling people you do this, you do that. I'm much more interested in building relations and coalitions with people, to work together to solve problems. And I'm hoping that the corridor counts, the TCC, will consider supporting me in my candidacy, work together with me to get elected, and then work together to try and make Nassau County a better place to live in.
Tom, anything else you want to leave us with?
Just that, appreciate